while. I know the reports are important, and that there is a small, shall we say, backlog. I'm getting to it. How's the control room?
Ugh, I thought this night would never end. What a snob fest. And I even missed out on the action.
I'm sorry you had to endure all that free champagne and cello music, Orson.
Yeah, well, I say stick to what you know.
Which claimed the life of shipbuilder Rex Larson 14th was indeed the end of the industry.
Target down. Well done, 47. Now get off your boat.
Hey, who are you? I'm not sure I know you. Ah! You fucking...
Threw that on purpose. You...
Oh, shoot! Where the hell is he? Gotta find him.
To find an exit. Our business is done here, but it's far from over.
Don't let him take control of the situation.
Well, welcome back, peoples. I am back, and I'm doing another N8's test. I'm not sure if I need to adjust any volumes at all, but either way, there we go. Oh, it's been a while since I did this. You may hear a fan in the background. That is because I am actually using a fan because my room gets very warm because a lot of heat gets pumped in this room, and the little slider thing on my on the vent there for the heater kind of, stopped working correctly, and it doesn't actually close. So, anyways, so hopefully that isn't too bad. I don't know. I may turn it off just for this, but yeah. So you may see I still have my earpiece. I should keep forgetting. Anyways. Making coffee right now. Oh, wrong. Got it. There it is. Anyways. I may just wait a bit to see if anyone's actually going to show up. Let's go to comments here. No one's here. Good. So yeah, again, we'll see who shows up. Sometimes people show up late. It's happened before. But that's okay. But yeah. Also, I'm learning some new things with doing stuff from StreamYard, because as you can see, it is powered by StreamYard, because it's just easier for me to do. Things are kind of set up already, and also I'm able to have this in HD, this face cam. Though the face cam, it's a camcorder and it's fairly old. It's probably like 2015 or something like that. So, the HD-ness is a bit pixelated, but it's good when it's shrunk down. So it's better for a face cam that shrunk down as opposed to the full screen. But anyways, it works. There's a couple of things I'll be talking about. One will be Hitman 3, because I've been playing it a lot recently, and got some comments to discuss about it, some things to talk about. But and just little things here and there of what I think about it. But also, there's another topic I do want to discuss, which I'll bring up later. I'll just kind of let this roll a bit and see if anyone's going to show up, and I might attempt to make sure. Well, because that's the thing. Because when I stream from StreamYard, it doesn't notify my Discord or anything like that. Because with OBS, I have it so that whenever I do stream, it uses the Restream app to actually notify Discord with the link and everything, and the title, all that stuff. Do I manually have to go in to Restream and do that? Of course, I'm not restreaming this. I'm just streaming it directly to Twitch, but I use that because it was set up to automatically send out a notification to my Discord server. So I figured, I just still use it for that at least. Because I don't have to download a program for that. It's all on their website. So I'm like, okay. I still have the little chat program on Restream, so I can just see the chat better. But anyways, this has its own chat. And I can pull up and whatnot. But no one's here chatting, which is okay. Because this would be put up later. And eventually, and I said this before, I haven't gotten around to doing it because I want to do a little bit more editing stuff. I'm going to split these sections up. Whatever topics I talk about will be cut up later on as its own separate thing. Which looks like it might be longer than actually when the actual episodes do come out of these N8's cast. This would be 3, which I don't know if I should. I guess I could put, the episode titles in the title, like the number. I don't need to actually put it visibly on screen, though. I don't know if I should. I don't know. This is new to me, doing all this stuff. But StreamYard's just easier for me, so I'm not going to use I'll use OBS for this stuff. But I was able, as you saw in the intro, I was actually able to upload one video, which is fine. Of course, there's a Hitman 3 one, which is kind of what I've been using for my intro-outro stuff. And it has, of course, they have their own little timers thing, which is cool too. But I kind of like having my own videos and whatever is my intro and whatnot. That's the thing with this is I need to really figure out the background. Background here it's white, and then over here it's white. It'd be nice to fill that up whenever I'm doing this kind of thing. But oh well. Also, I'm streaming a little later than I wanted to, so there's that. Because I'm I'm going to stream at 1, and it's 2 now. Regardless, because there is one person who actually knows stuff about Hitman 3, because he's the one who allowed me to get it early was the Boxy Bear, but he's not around, it seems. So I may have to message him separately and hope that he shows up, because I know he would like to actually talk about this. But anyways, so I may do that. So bear with me for that specificness. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go with the Boxy Bear. If I can find, there he goes. I'll just go. I'm streaming now. Bunch of exclamation points, and that should get my message across. Just all the exclamation points. Oh yeah, so I did find out I could technically have my gameplay if I ever want to show gameplay of the game. If I am playing something, I could just show it up on here as a webcam, as a cam. But yeah, anyways. So that's the thing. It's like I may do something like that afterwards, but then you wouldn't see my face, right? Well, technically, if I do that, yeah, that would be, you wouldn't be able to see my face. Yeah, you just see the gameplay, which is fine, I guess. But it'd be like, okay, that's part of the N8's cast, is at the end just hang out, which is sort of what started to happen. Anyways. I'm waiting for Boxy Bear, because he's the one who wanted me to talk about Hitman 3 and do some discussions. So, So this is where certain things like like me coughing and dying, you wouldn't see on the edited clips. But then again, if you're watching this whole thing, you're like, I don't want to watch this part, which is fine. I understand. I'm literally just waiting. So hopefully he can show up. He has showed up before around this time, so we'll see. I might as well just start talking about it, and then we'll see what occurs. But all right, Hitman 3. So I've as I had mentioned, the Boxy Bear has kindly allowed me to get the game earlier than I would have. And of course, I would have to pay him later, but he says I could pay by the end of the year. But I want to sort of give payments, be like, $20 here, $40 here, whatever, slowly. Which of course you can't do with online buying. You can't just be like, I would like to buy this game, but I'll send payments to Microsoft, to Xbox to purchase the game. But no, they're like, no, we don't do that. So that's kind of the thing with that. But anyways, so I'm able to I was able to play it, though I'm kind of like, I'm just, there's one thing I'm a little perturbed about is the pre-order suits, because it's all red, all black, and all white, and also you get, I believe, the briefcases and the guns are also all black and all white, all red, that match each suit color you get, which it makes me a little frustrated, because the idea was that he had bought the game, he had pre-ordered the game, but he wasn't going to get the disc until later, because he pre-ordered a physical copy to be sent over. So he's like, well, I kind of want to play the game right now. So then he bought it, the day of. And then he's like, all right, well, I'll go do a refund. And if I can't get a refund, I will just send you the disc. But he was able to get the refund. But he's like, you know what? I'll just buy it for you anyways, whatever version you want, and you just pay me later. I'm like, oh, thanks, bud. But of course, that would mean that if we would have figured this out earlier, and then he would have bought me the game, at launch, I would have gotten the suits, because it's like if you pre-ordered it or bought the game, the deluxe version, that day, or any version, but that day, you would get the Trinity pack, which again is all the different colored suits and the briefcases and the pistols and all that stuff. So that kind of sucks. and he pointed this out, which of course is what it is true that later on a lot of the pre-order DLC items for Hitman 2 and even Hitman 2016. They release them later, and then you can buy them later. So I really hope that's what's happening here, that they do that, because because I'll see some gameplay clips or whatever of people playing the game and having those suits, and I'm like, oh man, I really wish I had that suit, but anyways, whatever. But yeah, so Hitman 3. It's the very same mechanics and whatnot of Hitman 2. So it wasn't too different, but there's little tweaks, I think. They added little shortcuts to each mission of Hitman 3 version, like just the Hitman 3 game. Because, of course, just like in Hitman 2, Hitman 3, you can play the previous games. You can play a Hitman 2016 and a Hitman 2 in Hitman 3, which, of course, they have it all, looking, the same whatever game engine and whatever as Hitman 3 is. They basically just redid all that. Well, not necessarily redid, but like just made it so that it would work consistently with the rest of the game. So we play Hitman 2016, Hitman 2, and then Hitman 3. It's like has some sort of consistent look to it. So that's what they did with Hitman 2. But they changed some of the mechanics in Hitman 2 of like, whenever you get caught, what's the distance, enemies seeing you, or even just civilians or non-targets, when they spot you and go, hey, you're trespassing, or hey, you're not supposed to be there, or hey, you're suspicious, or hey, we want to kill you, or whatever. We want to arrest you, that type of stuff. A lot of that stuff they tweaked in Hitman 2, and so of course they're like, okay, we'll let you play Hitman 2016 in Hitman 2, but with all these different design changes, which I think, what was it with mirrors? That now what happened is I think it's just mirrors. I don't think it's any reflective surface, but like mirrors specifically. If let's say you're in a bathroom, right, and then your target's in a bathroom or someone you want to knock out or whatever, they can see you. They'll go, oh, I like if you're just about to pull out a gun or something, or a tranquilizer or fiber wire or whatever it is. They'll be able to see you and spot that. Oh, hey, you're pulling out a syringe, or something, some illegal item, and then you'll be compromised and that type of stuff. So that adds an extra cautiousness, or theoretically an extra cautiousness to whatever you're doing. Of course, you don't have to, but it just adds something different to it. But that's what's changed. And so in Hitman 3, that's continued. Just, a lot of the changes they did in Hitman 2, they continued in Hitman 3. And so it does play fairly similar, because beforehand, I was playing all of Hitman 2016 and Hitman 2 in Hitman 2. So I kind of got used to those new changes in the mechanics and stuff. So I'm like, okay, or at least muscle memory to have it remembered when I play Hitman 3. It's almost like, okay, I'm kind of used to this. And then so I went straight from Hitman 2 to playing Hitman 3, and then going, okay, and then I played all the games that were put into Hitman 3, such as Hitman 2016, Hitman 2, and then of course going straight to Hitman 3 right after. So again, if there's any changes, I would be used to them enough so that when I go and play Hitman 3, I'm not like, I can't do anything. It's like, oh, okay, I'm used to this. Yeah, so it's but playing it, I did definitely enjoyed it, playing the old maps again. 2016 and Hitman 2, 2018. And then of course, then going into Hitman 3, because obviously there was early copies of the game that different streamers would get, or other people from Hitman community, which I'm like, where was my early access copy or whatever, my early copy of the game? What was up with that? Come on, IO, what do you do? But no, it's so they would, you'd get some people that got them ahead of time, and then they would be releasing certain clips of a mission, which of course the main one they're focusing on was the first mission, which is Dubai, in Dubai. And so that was, that I already kind of saw that, but of course he only showed certain amounts. And I think after launch, it was like, okay, here's some more levels. But I think I watched, some of Dubai, and then I think some of the second mission, which is, I think it was Dartmoor. Isn't that the second one? I'm pretty sure. And then the third one was the Chongqing one. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was it. That was the 3. Or was it? Yeah, I think, was it those 3? And then it was Berlin? I can't remember. But anyways, whoops. I'm moving too much. That's the thing. I just got a lot in my brain, and just my body's like reacting to that, which isn't the best thing in the world. But yeah. So I only saw like basically Dubai, and then a little bit of Dartmoor, but not like I've seen some things of Chongqing, but not too much, because I didn't want to like. Yeah, I didn't want to spoil the story, because I was getting interested, especially at the end of Hitman 2, where they had a little twist, and I was like, what? Which of course some people saw that coming, as like, oh, this is the twist. But I'm like, I didn't. I was like too into that stuff that I was like, I didn't really pick up on those things. So then with Hitman 3, I'm like, okay, what are they going to do with this? And I did like what they did. There were certain points I'm like, oh, they better not do this. If they do this, this is going to be so dumb, and I'll be mad. And then they don't do it, and I'm like, okay. They didn't go that way. But the story was, they ended it well enough that, it did leave it open that there would be more games. But of course, as some people may know, IO Interactive, who made these Hitman games, well, they're now going to make a James Bond game. The new James Bond game, which is great, because we haven't had a James Bond game, I think, since 007 Legends. Which kind of sucks, because, I like the James Bond movies, I like the games, and I still have I have a bunch of the Daniel Craig James Bond games. Trying to think, do I have any other? Oh yeah, that's right. I do have on GameCube Agent Under Fire, which I don't think I finished yet. I think I still have to finish that game, or I'm very close to beating it. I can't remember. I would have to double check. But I remember I think I might have beat it already. I have to double check. But there's also, what was it, From Russia with Love, that they actually got Sean Connery back to reprise his role in From Russia with Love, a movie, but they had it as a game. And so I have those 2 games that aren't like the newer ones. Oh yeah, that's right. I do have Tomorrow Never Dies as well for PS1. So I have those are. So if I've had, well, at least I had that James Bond game, the PS1 game, and then I got all the other games later. And I always wanted, the other game. But anyways, we're not talking about James Bond. But well, ish, because they're moving on from Hitman to go and make James Bond. But of course, they're gonna go back and make Hitman games. But it's so that's the thing. Are they gonna focus everything on Hitman? I mean, on James Bond, and then, or are they gonna have like a separate small team working on a Hitman game, or just working on ideas for it, and then having having their a main team working on the James Bond games. So, but the thing is, because what was it? This is what happened: is that in 2016, when Hitman, the new Hitman game came out, there was a lot of they kind of messed up on certain things. What I think they did really good was the idea of it being like a TV show, in a sense, like having episodes, which is why the first Hitman game is subtitled as Season 1. Because if you buy, like, if you see like different version of it, one says the complete first season of Hitman. And I like that idea, because what basically, instead of making a whole game, they were making levels individually. So they made level 1, which is Paris, and they focused everything on that. And then they're like, okay, we're going to release the first level that we finish. And then the next level that they're going to do, once they're done that one, then they release that one. Which, of course, means it took time to do that. So I think the idea of having them released or be able to be purchased separately was a very good idea. I like that, because at the time I couldn't afford a whole game, right? I would have to be very limited in what I get. So being able to buy the starter pack, or whatever it was, the startup pack, whatever they called it, where it's like you get your training mission, and then you get the Paris mission. And I'm like, cool, it was like $10. I'm like, okay, cool. I can afford that. So I'd get that, and then I'm like, okay, they released the second one. All right, so I'll get the second level, mission 2 or whatever, episode 2, and that would be also $10. I'm like, okay, all right, this is cool. And then so I bought those 2, and then I played those a lot, and then I was saving my money. And I'm like, okay, I saved enough money. I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to buy maybe 2 more missions or something like that. And then, of course, by that time, they decided to stop doing the episodic idea, and just, because this is what they also said, too. We're going to release them one at a time, like each level at a time. And then we're at the end of the year, we're going to release them all at once. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like that, because I'm the one who's going to buy them individually. I can, instead of waiting, I'm like, well, I'll just get each mission individually, and then whoever wants to get it later, they can do it. And they can wait. Those people can wait. I'm like, well, I'll just get it now. But then, of course, they started midway through. They're like, you know what? We're not getting as much money. We're not certain. We don't have enough people buying them, I guess. And then they're like, okay, well. What we'll do is we'll scrap that and just have it released all at once at the end of the year. And I'm like, I only got 2 missions. And so I was stuck waiting for the end of the year to even get the rest of the missions, because they never let you buy the rest of those episodes separately. Or, the missions, like all the rest of those levels, I couldn't buy separately anymore. And it was a stupid thing, because it's similar to what Destiny did. Whenever they were, they finished their game and they added, what was it? The Taken King or something like that, or something like that. It was Forsaken King or the Taken King or whatever it was. The extra DLC story stuff they added. They had like 2 other ones. Anyways, what happened? So after a while, when they were working on Destiny 2, they basically made it so that you couldn't buy Destiny 2 Standard, where it didn't have all that stuff, where just whatever the base game was when it was released, you could buy that separately because that was cheaper than buying the extra DLC with it. So for me, who can't afford getting all these different, editions of these games, deluxe edition or whatever, I was like, okay, I was gonna get Destiny 1, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get it, and just the standard of original version that it came out with. I'll buy that, and I might buy the DLC later. And then I go look at the digital store, and it's like, nope, you can only buy the deluxe versions, and that's it. So that means, which is like $100 or whatever, and I'm like, why can't I buy the original game itself? So I got it on disc, basically, with the help of a friend. He got me the disc version. But it's just like, it's so stupid. And so with Hitman, they did that. With Hitman 2016, they were like, they started releasing them. They're like, you can't buy them individually anymore. So I was kind of mad about that. And of course, later I was able to get Hitman 2016, all of them, through the Game Pass. But it was just like, oh, man, that's so stupid. And of course, Hitman 2, they're just like, okay, so Hitman, we're going to call it the complete first season whenever it's marketed and packaged, and that's what they're going to call it. But Hitman, the second Hitman game of this, we're going to just call it Hitman 2. Which, of course, there's already a Hitman 2. It's called Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, and that was made in like the early 2000s. Like, you already had the name go goofy when you just called the first game Hitman of this new trilogy, because the original game was called Hitman Codename 47, but everyone just called it Hitman or Hitman 1. But now when you say Hitman 1, people are going to be referring to the Hitman 2016 version and not Hitman Codename 47. So people get confused. But at least calling it Hitman Season 1 is better, so that when you get the second game of this, you can call it Hitman Season 2. And then the third one would be called Hitman Season 3. So that way you're not confused at all. And apparently, because there was a documentary that was, I think it was last year, that was made, basically talking about what all happened. It was like a split between Square Enix and then Warner Brother Games. They later got to publish the game, which is why there were so many differences and why there was even a separate game of Hitman 2. Because Square Enix, I'm assuming Square Enix owned rights to certain stuff. And so they couldn't actually add what they wanted into the Hitman sort of hub that they were wanting, because that's what Hitman 3 is now. Hitman 2016, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3 are all in the same user interface, the same menu system. It's all together. It's one hub, which is why it was just called Hitman, because that's what they wanted. But I'm guessing because of stuff with Square Enix saying, we don't want to do anything, we don't want to finance you or fund this anymore, because it's, for us, it's financially not successful enough. But apparently there's no ill will between, Square Enix and IO Interactive, but it's just like, for their business decision, this is what they, figured this is what they had to do. And then they go and fund The Quiet Man, which we all know how well that went. But it's just one of those things. But yeah, so that's why Hitman 2 was released as a separate game, as opposed to being a part of an addition to Hitman 2016. But again, why don't you just call it Hitman Season 2? And also so in the documentary I also heard like the one of the CEO or whatever, one of the main business people in IO Interactive, that they're like, we were hearing that people weren't sure if they were getting a full game with it being a season. And I'm like, what? Who are you talking to? Because it's like when a TV show, just again, the idea of what they want. I'm like, well, in a TV show, you're not just like, oh no, their season 1 is done. Is that the whole show? Is that, or is that the whole That's what it is? It's the whole thing. The season is all of the episodes. Is all of that content is in the season. So it's not like you're like you're getting it cut off, right? Oh, is things being goofy? I'm looking I can see the stream here, and it looks like it's getting a bit choppy. I hope it is not for you guys at home, but if it is, I apologize. Then oh well, I'll be choppy. Anyways, I was getting into this. And plus no one's here to tell me, hey, things look bad. Oh, wait a second. Something messed up here. It is now wireless when it's not supposed to be. This is good. Anyways, I don't know what happened there. I don't recall moving anything for that to be wireless now, but whatever. It's working now. Anyways, so I apologize for the choppiness. I missed something, but so yeah, yeah. When I heard that, where they're like, oh, people didn't know if they were getting the full game because it was called Season 1. Like, it's just that just blows my mind, because that makes no sense. Because it's like, again, with a TV show, you're like, oh, here's our new TV show, and it has 10 episodes. And you're like, is that the whole season? Is that all the content in the season? Well, yes. Like, it's not like they're like saying, oh, we have 10 episodes, but really there's like more that we're not gonna have, or what? Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense, because again, with a TV show, it's like, okay, a season is whatever episodes it has, and you're like, oh, I mean, the only reason you're not sure about a season 2 or 3 or whatever is if no one, the studio doesn't pick it up. And if no one cares about it, then there's not going to be another one. But you could say the same with the game. If you're trying to make a franchise and no one wants to fund the game, distribute the game or whatever, it's like, well, obviously it won't be made. So the fact that it's called Season 1, it doesn't mean that there's going to be, like, it's not a finished product. So, I don't know. Anyways, I'm seeing that there's still goofiness going on, so I'm just going to quickly check this. I apologize. Hopefully this will... Oh. That's it. Tuesday. Okay. So hopefully I'm still live. But yeah, it just got slightly unplugged. Anyways, so hopefully no more issues like that. But I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so they should have called Hitman 2 Hitman Season 2. And then Hitman 3 Hitman Season 3. Because that's what it is. I think that's silly. And it's kind of like, again, it's like just upsetting in that when you have someone that gets into these games, they're like, oh, let's play the older games. And they're like, why is there another Hitman 2? Well, it should have been called Hitman Season 2. That would have been fine. Because if you call Hitman 2 Hitman Season 2, then people go, oh, right. So that means Hitman Season 1 is a complete season. It's a complete game. It's like, yes, of course it's a complete game. Like, ugh, duh. But anyways, so that's why you can't get those levels individually. But I also think, why can't you? Like, if they want to release the whole game, at a certain date, and you're like, you know what, let's get the whole game done, and we're gonna release it like a normal game. It's like, okay, fine, but still allow people to buy the levels individually if they can't afford the full game. Like, because you'll also get so you get the money from the people who buy the full thing, but also you get money from the people who can't afford the whole thing, and they give you an extra $10 per episode, per level, per mission. So that's why I think that, because if you go look at the game now, and you see how it actually, I might show this because I actually have it set up. But let me go to the store of this. So let's, because even Hitman 3 is like this. I can just, come on. Show me the editions. So if I go to this, sometimes they do show like the whole, like what's in the actual bundle. Yes, okay. Here, I think I'll switch over here to show you guys what I am seeing. But let's go to here. It's loading, and then you should see it soon. There it is. So here's you say in this bundle, here's what's in this bundle. You have each individual map separate. Mendoza, and then Chongqing, and then the Carpathian Mountains, and then there's the Block, but then you get Dubai, there's Dartmoor, and there's Germany, and Berlin. So because in most games they're just like, here's the full game, like it's one download. It's not this separate stuff. It's like this, right? Where it's like this is what's in the bundle is the game, right? If you get a deluxe edition, it'd be like, here's the game plus your DLC stuff. Whereas this is like, here's the game, and then here's all the separate stuff. Because they're still doing it that Hitman 3 is its own download, and then all of the episodes and missions get downloaded later as like a separate thing. So why can't you say it so that you can purchase each episode individually? Like, be like, okay, so it'd be, again, if this is Hitman Season 3, Episode 1, Dubai. So that you would know, oh, okay, this is the first one. And then so you'd be able to buy this for $10. And then this would be for $10. And then this would be, whatever order it is, like each individual map, again, which is what it was in 2016, you can get these individually for $10. Still release the full game as is, right? But then have it so that all these are bought separately still, while also having people buy the full game. So that if people can't afford to get the full game, or the deluxe edition, or like whatever version, they can still at least download individually each mission whenever they're able to, and then buy the deluxe pack DLC, and also getting any other DLC as well, right? It's like, why can't they just do that? To me, that's just, it's silly. It's silly that they can't do that. I don't know. I think that's dumb. Because again, Hitman 2016 is like that because that's how they were doing it. Hitman 2 is the same way. All you can see each individual mission or level as its separate thing. It's almost like it's designed so that you can buy these individually still. Then let people buy them individually. I don't know. I think that's, I don't get it. But anyway, so that's so those are the little things that I'm like, why are they not doing this? Because again, you get extra money because you get people who buy the full thing, and you get the people who are like, you know what, I can't afford the full thing, so I'm just gonna take I'll buy these separately every so often when I can. which of course, sure, you're not getting maybe millions and millions of dollars because not everyone's going to be doing it, but at least you're getting extra money, some extra money, including what the full price of the game is. It's like, don't you want to get more money and still, allow your fans to, use your product, and have fun with your product, right? And enjoy your product. And you want them to be able to do that. It's like, well, do this, and you're letting them be able to have access to your product and promote it or whatever, and tell people, hey, you can buy these individually now too. You can buy the full game if you want, but you can buy these individually, and having both of those. So it's because at the beginning they were making the levels. So essentially it's like they were like making the game, but like only releasing one episode, one level, one mission. Be like, okay, here, now we're gonna do this one. Okay, here, and that. It's like that's sort of where I think where people were just like, well, I'm gonna wait until I get all of them, because there's a lot of people who would play Hitman or whatever, and they just want to play the game right away. Whereas someone me, it's like, I can't afford to play the game right away, so I have to buy these individually. So I'd buy 2 episodes, play these 2, as much as I can, and have fun with it, whatever. And then when I'm able to afford it, I will then get the other ones. I think they even had like free DLC stuff too. Like it's like free up until a certain point, right? Like they had a summer pack, and that was like free till whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll take those. Which is actually what I did, because I think that's when they stopped allowing you to buy each mission or each level individually. So I'm like, okay, I'll take these, because then I'll have this Sapienza and then these other missions. Because I'm like, you're not letting me be able to buy these missions and levels individually. So yeah, no, that's a lot. I mean, it's something I say it on my streams too, like my regular streams, but in doing this, it's like I might as well just state all this, because it's just like this, just because I'll think about it, as I'm playing the game, I'll think about it, I'm just like, this is so dumb. Why didn't they do this? Like, I get why they're stopping. Oh, well, we're not going to make each level individually, and then like every time we're done one mission and then we put it out, it's like, oh, or release the whole thing. Like, fine, but let people buy them individually too as well. You'll get money still. Yes, not as much as getting someone to buy the full product right away, but at least you're getting money of people buying them right away, and on top of that, people buying the individual levels, which is an extra $10, $20 per like however many, again, how many people do that. And I'm like, honestly, I guarantee it, if they did that, they would be getting more people into the Hitman stuff if they did that for all those games. Or for Hitman 3, right, to be able to not have to buy the packs, but again, like, buy the individual missions, each level. Because with Hitman 3, you get Hitman 2016 and Hitman 2, so it's like, we'll allow people to buy those individually, those missions. So it's like, even if they get, let's say, mission 1 or episode 1 of Hitman 2016, and then they get episode 1 Hitman 2, they're like, oh, the story's not gonna really fully make sense. Like, well, that's up to the people who purchase those missions. It's like, it's up to them to understand that things aren't going to make sense if you play episode 1 of Hitman in 2016 and then play episode 2 of Hitman season 2, or episode 1, or even 2, or whatever. Like, that's up to their own discretion. So if they're like, well, I just want to play the game, I don't care about the story, it's like, well, that's what some people do with this. They'll buy the full game, not care about the story, just play the game. Or you have the people that actually want to enjoy the whole story, and they watch all the cutscenes, and they take in whatever story is given by the game. Same thing with buying the missions or episodes individually. For me, I would buy them episode 1, episode 2, episode, like, in order. I would then, buy them whenever I could, like, each episode. So that's what if that's your argument, it's like, well, people will do the full game. It's the same thing. And people will understand if they say, oh, this is Hitman Season 1, well, and this is Episode 1, well, this is obviously the start of the story. In Hitman Season 2, Episode 1, well, that's the continuation of what happened in Hitman Season 1, is in Hitman Season 2. So, I don't know. I think, yes, still release each game full price, the full game with everything in it, but still, like DLC, allow people to buy these episodes as individual missions, like to buy them individually for like $10 each, right? And then just rename everything. Be like, you know what? This is Hitman Season 2, and this is Hitman Season 3. People won't get confused. Like, they won't. Like, I don't know who that guy, whoever that guy talked to, were like, oh, people were thinking that they weren't going to get that they aren't getting the full game because it's called Season 1. The game is just called Season 1 because there's already a Hitman game. And there's going to be Hitman 2 that's the title of another game already. So calling them Season 1 and Season 2 and Season 3, it's just differentiating, each game. But their idea was like actually releasing the levels as episodes as like a weekly thing or something. Because I think it's either a couple of weeks or something, and then you get another one. Or whatever. Like, I think that was the idea. But I'm just like, so that might be, I understand why people were like, well, I don't want to wait that long. So being able to release the full game plus each individual episodes all at once. So you have the choice. I can't afford the full game, so I'm going to buy one episode. And then you slowly buy the rest of them when you can afford it. If you can afford the rest of them, well, then you just buy it all at once. I don't know. It makes sense to me. Like, you're getting more money because, again, as I keep saying, I'm stating it because I'm just like, it's so simple and it makes sense. It's like, I don't get it. I don't get it because I don't know. It's like people buying different versions of different movies on Blu-ray or shows on Blu-ray or DVD. People buy them on DVD and go, oh, the Blu-ray's out. I'm going to buy a Blu-ray. They already have, whatever, Season 1 of a show. They like the show. They're going to buy Season 2. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me. Because sure, like even with shows, it's like you're not going to buy the individual episodes, but technically digitally, that would work. Obviously with physical media, that's not going to work because you would have to buy like a separate disc for each episode. It's just like, that doesn't make any sense. But the reason why it's all in one is because, well, they're in a disc form, right? It's all physical. But if it's like you're going online and you're like, oh, look, here's a full season of something, but I can't afford this full season of the show. But it's like, oh, but we'll sell each episode for like $5. Well, then you buy episode 1 and you enjoy it or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm going to, when I get enough money, I'll save up. I'll buy maybe 2 more episodes, after, like in order. Because I even think that you can do that for some, like I think it was like Xbox, you could do that. In the old 360 days, I don't know if it's the same here now, but like each episode you could buy individually, digitally, of course. So I'm like, do that with this. Like, just do that with, because that was their whole idea. Their whole concept was like a TV show, just in game form. And I'm like, I don't know, like I guess it's people at Square Enix or whatever just didn't understand that whole idea or something, or some of the people now at IO, they don't understand that they could have still done that. Like, obviously not release them weekly or whatever, because, not everyone can wait that long for each mission. They want to buy it right away. It's like, well, let people buy it right away, all at once, the full thing, but also buy them individually for $10. Again, $10 for like a mission, that's pretty good. On top of people buying the game for $60 or $70. Plus, you get people buy the deluxe edition, which are like, almost $100 or basically $100. So it's, I don't know. It makes complete sense to me. And it definitely allow, because he even said like when after Square Enix was like, oh, we're gone, we're not gonna publish any more of this stuff or whatever, and then they're trying to find ways to get investors or people to go to help out with this and to just distribute their next game because they would like to make more, obviously. So they went with Warner Brothers. So what they did is they released the starter pack free, or free whatever, the training missions. The training mission of where it's just like you're introducing Agent 47 and you show him practicing and doing training on a boat of like what you would do in this scenario and that kind of stuff. Those are free. So you basically download the HUD, not the HUD, the hub, the Hitman hub. You get it for free because all it is just menus and stuff, except for the one mission, or the prologue of the season, right? So that was free, but then if you wanted to, you could buy the rest of the game. And then or you could have it so that you could also buy the next episode of the game. So you have the free, the training mission, whatever, and then you're like, okay. Now you can also individually buy each episode, or you can buy the rest of them all at once. Up to you. You have the choice. Because they did that with Hitman 2. You had the first mission was free as your hooking in people, because they found as they did that, more people started to get into Hitman 2016 and then actually buy the game. So they did that with Hitman 2. But I'm like, but also have the choice of people buying the game individually. I don't know. It's as I keep thinking of different scenarios of like, why did they think they could do that? Why did they think that was financially inadequate to allow someone to purchase the full game, but also then as well purchase each individual one? Because like, oh, they're either going to buy the game or not. It's like, or let more people have access to the product you made by allowing them to have the little pieces, be able to buy them on its own, and then they can eventually build, buy the whole game with the DLC, extra DLC. Because I'm sure people were willing to slowly buy each episode, each mission, right? That they would then go, you know what? I like this game so much, I'm going to get these DLC. Get these extra maps. Wait, so it's almost been an hour that I've been talking about this, but it's like that's kind of the biggest thing with Hitman 3. That it's called Hitman 3, not Season 3. Same with Hitman 2 not being called Season 2. So, I may just start ending up calling them Season 1 and Season 2 and Season 3 because that's what they are. And so, again, the fact that it still shows up as individual missions, you still see them as individual missions, as opposed to all one thing. I'm like, just let people buy those missions individually for $10. But whatever. If they start to do that retroactively and do that later on, I'm like, okay, good, finally, you get more people into these games. I mean, obviously they gotten enough people to see that they were doing good with the games, that they're now making a James Bond game, which a lot of the stuff that they did with these new Hitman games, with the seasons, season 1, 2, and 3 of Hitman, that they're kind of like type of a James Bond game in a sense. Like you're doing a lot of the stealthy stuff. You have a silenced pistol. You know, you're going through. Well, especially in Hitman. Well, more of Hitman 2 season 2 than Hitman season 3. You're looking for clues for things. You're trying to put together different pieces and do intel and all this stuff. A little bit more of that, but obviously it's like how they have this organization called Providence is like a global conspiracy type thing, and you have all these individual stuff, and it's just like the very, very much like a James Bond villain or James Bond type idea with like Spectre and all that type of stuff. So it's like it kind of makes sense to get them to make a James Bond game, but it's like, you know, so obviously they've gotten traction from other people. Like I guess the people who own the rights for James Bond and James Bond games and that type of stuff. Here, make a James Bond game. But I still think if they did, you know, Hitman Season 1, Hitman Season 2, Hitman Season 3, and calling it that and sticking with you're able to buy each mission, each episode individually, as well as buying it all together, buying the full season, they would have gotten a lot more money from that. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, there's a difference between $10 each episode than, you know, $60, $70 each game, but having $70, whatever, plus the people buying them individually for $10, I'm pretty sure that adds up. Like, I'm no mathematician, but I'm sure getting more money adds up to getting more money, even though if it's not as much more money, it's still more money. It's better than just having the money you've had. You get some more money on top of that. So anyways, but for the actual game itself, I think it's good. There are definitely some bugs and some issues that I found. But it's definitely not as bad as it could have been. Though the big thing is being able to carry over your progress from Hitman 2 to Hitman 3. Because at launch, it was a mess. Like, because you had to do it from a website. You couldn't just go in the game itself, like, you know, in Hitman 3 to go, okay, I want to carry everything over from Hitman 2. You could, because I mean, you think using your own Xbox account or PlayStation account or whatever account that you're playing the game on, it goes, okay, we detected that you bought or you have purchased or own in you know, from the account that you have this game. Well, let's just transfer that over in the game and have it all carry over. You know? Because it's basically this, like, Hitman 2 is pretty much very similar to Hitman. Well, Hitman Season 2 is very similar to Hitman Season 3. Very similar. So you would think it should be easy to then transfer like, it's like just, it's data. It's not like you're transferring the game itself. It's just data. It's saying, okay, it's basically mainly the Hitman 2 stuff. It's like, okay, well, they have Hitman Season 1, and within Hitman Season 2. So, and it's all under the same ranking system and unlocks and all that stuff. It's like, okay, all that data gets carried over to whatever console or device that you played it on. Because if you buy the game on an Xbox, let's say, right? And then, so Hitman Season 3, the game detects, hey, we detect that on your account, you have already bought, purchased, and played Hitman Season 2, and with also Hitman Season 1, and we also detected all these different unlocks, this rank, your XP, we've detected all this stuff. Would you like to transfer it? You should be able to get hey, A for okay, or whatever. You hit okay, and then it's like, it may take a moment, but we are transferring all your data. It should transfer. I don't know what they messed up for you to not be able to do that. Like, I get that they're like, oh, we never intended, Hitman Season 2 to transfer. Or maybe, well, the thing is, they probably should have, right? Because they did it with Hitman Season 2 with getting Hitman Season 1 in there. It's like, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's like they missed something and like, let's make it easier. Or they thought, oh, it'd be easier if we just do it from the website with your IO count. With the account that was made with Hitman Season 2, or even Hitman Season 1. But yeah, mainly Hitman Season 2, the account that you're using, that you were sort of like asked to make in order to save different stuff or get different stuff, whatever. See your stats online, that type of stuff. That, like, oh, well, we'll just use that account. But I'm like, why don't you use the account in the game? Why can't the game do that? Why do I have to go to a website? And that's sort of where people were confused. If they didn't read up or search it, they would know that if you play Hitman Season 3 and then you wanted to transfer, you found out how to transfer stuff from Hitman Season 2, well, then all of your progress from Hitman Season 3 you just did will be gone. And that type of stuff. And the website wasn't working correctly. So you couldn't even transfer anything until like later on. So that's where like the Boxing Bear was like, well, maybe it was good that I got you the game later because you wouldn't have to deal with all that stuff. But I'm like, I would have been fine with playing Hitman Season 3, probably just playing Dubai for the longest time. And then whenever the website worked, I would just be okay with it not saving my unlocks. I don't care. Because I have a bunch of unlocks I did in Hitman Season 2 for it to carry over. And yeah. So I don't know, that'd be me. But again, I knew about it. I knew that this was going to happen. So I'm like, okay. So if it did happen, it didn't work, I would have been fine. But so that's why I'm still upset I wasn't able to get it at launch so I can get those suits. But that's okay. Anyways, but yeah. So I definitely enjoyed the game. I definitely enjoy Hitman Season 3. And I think I'm going to start calling it that from now on, is seasons. Because that's what they were supposed to be. That's what they were meant to be. This is what they are. So, and that way that helps differentiate what I'm talking about. Because I'll say Hitman 2 and I'm like, Hitman 2 is not an assassin. It's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. And that's why when I say Hitman, I have to say Hitman 2016. And instead of saying that all the time, it's like, you know what? Hitman Season 1, Hitman Season 2, Hitman Season 3. Yeah, the majority of people understand what I'm talking about when I say Hitman Season 1. Because that's what it was. Hitman, the complete first season. Or the complete season, or whatever. Like, it's you buy those editions, that's what they're called. So it's like, I really think you should label these as Season 2 and Season 3. Just made it easier for people searching up the game. But anyways. Ooh, so I think I'm done talking about that. Because yeah, like I like the game. I enjoy the game. Definitely enough because I'm still talking about it, right? I did one of me before when I was just playing Hitman Season 2. So now I'm playing Hitman Season 3. That it's just now I'm playing it. It's like, yeah, I like the story again. I liked where it went. They still leave it open to more Hitman games, which is nice because I think what they're doing is they did a good job. Obviously, still some little issues. They fixed up the user interface a lot, like with their menu system of like organizing things because it's like they have all these like each level or whatever, like all of your unlocks or all the stuff you get, it's like all spread out. So you have to sift through what you want to get. Like if you have a bunch of explosives, you have a bunch of this, you have a bunch of tools, you have a bunch of whatever. You just get like you have to sift through all this stuff. instead of like organizing better. So they finally did a little bit more of that with suits for sure, because you'd have, oh, here's your main suit, and then, oh, here's all the suits you unlocked, and then you're like, I want the one at the end. So you have to, scroll through. Oh, I want here's the suit I want. It's at the end. So they kind of did it where it's like, okay, here's a classic suits. Here's the casual suits. Here's the business suits or professional suits or whatever. And like all this, and then they go, oh, themed suits. But then it's still like you're still going through. But I think they started to kind of do it where it's more horizontal. No, vertical than horizontal. This is what happens when my brain just forgets how to think. Which does happen a lot. But anyways, horizontal, vertical. They have it more vertical now. Like they kind of do it this way. It's like, okay, that's a little better. But it's like you're still, because even though it's like they have it like sections like this, and then you have to go through, and it's like, okay, here's some more. Pretty positive. I will because I have the game open. I'm double checking, which is why I have the game open, because I'm like, I may show off some things, but it's but of course the big thing. I mean, they fixed some stuff. Again, some things they did improve. But it's still like, you still have to sift through stuff, and they could have just done it way better. But one of the big things is the fact that it's always online. You have, in order for you to have your unlocks, your different location startups. I don't know about your suits. The thing is, still use your suits, but it's like if you're offline, you have so much less things you can access, and it is so stupid. It is so stupid. I'm gonna see if I can actually attempt to go offline right now. I don't think I can. Like, I don't think there's anything in the game where it's like, go offline, unless it like tells you, hey, would you like to go offline? But anyways, just kind of looking through some of these things, but yeah, like all of your mastery unlocks, obviously contracts make sense, so you can't use those. You can't use those offline, which makes sense. It's because contracts are all online stuff. That I get. But it's like, yeah. Oh no, they actually didn't do it that way. That's right. I'm thinking. I was in my brain because that would make sense, but they didn't. They still kept it as horizontal and not vertical. So you still have to sift through them, but it's not as much depending. But if you get like a lot of themed suits, it's like a lot. But anyways, yeah. So as I'm playing the game, it constantly has been disconnecting, and I have to manually reconnect. Whereas the other game, like Hitman Season 2 or even Hitman Season 1, it like disconnects but then reconnects like almost pretty soon. But this one's like, boom, you have been disconnected. Would you like to retry or go offline? If you go offline, you won't be able to have any XP, any progression, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's dumb. Because that means if, let's say, your internet goes out, I guess I'm done playing the game then. It's you know, it was still an issue in Hitman Season 2, and then they kept that. It's like, no, allow people, like, okay, have it save information on the local console or, you know, computer, whatever they're using to play the game. Have that information saved. If they got XP, if they've gotten extra stuff, let it save in the you know, on the hard drive, whatever, in its internal memory, so that whenever you go online, it just updates it. Like other games do that. Other games for like achievements and stuff like that. Even if because some games you can go offline and like or be offline, like not be in multiplayer or whatever, do other things, and it counts for your overall rank and your unlocks and stuff. Well, it just updates it as soon as you go online. As soon as you go back online, it will go, oh, here's your updated rank. Like, Halo Reach did that. Like, I don't know. It's that came out, what, 2010, something like that. I don't know. I honestly can't remember when Halo Reach came out, but it's like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that they would keep having it so that you have to be online. Like, again, I get it for like leaderboards and stuff like that. I'm like, well, then have it so that stuff updates whenever you go back online, but it still saves like a bit of information on the local Xbox, like other games do. But anyways, let me show you what I'm talking about, the suits itself. I know some people don't care about this, but it's because it's been there before, and then they keep it there. But here you go. So they've done some organization here where it's like, okay, classic suit. It's like, okay, cool. Here's the classic ones, but you're still like having to rummage through this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Oh, okay. Now we're on formal, which is 3 because that's all I've unlocked so far. It's like, okay, cool. And then coats, you have 2. I got 2 coats. There's more, but I haven't unlocked those. So it's like, okay. And then casual, it's like, all right, there's only these, so it's not too bad. But when you get to tactical again, get the theme though. But again, this is like some of the stuff I've unlocked, but there's a lot that I haven't unlocked, or there's going to be other DLC ones that will have more suits, and it's like you still have to go through this way. And I'm like, well, why can't you have it horizontal? I mean, here I go again with that. Vertical. Why can't you have it vertical? Like have it, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, like this, and then you drop it down 1, and then there's another 5, and then maybe if you want to, then swap to another page, which will have another 5 this way. Like, why don't you do that? They're like, oh, well, this is, it's easier to have it this way, or it works better this way for us because it's easy to copy what we did with, Hitman Season 2, and we put in the Hitman Season 3, and I'm like, or you could kind of rework things a bit better, like doing a patch. Patch it up, please. Make a patch that fixes this stuff. Because you'd have to go through each one and go, ugh. It's like, I don't know. They did change this up, where whenever because before this was actually below, and what, yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, this was below, where you start, your starting location, and then above, I think, was the suit. Or no, above was, like, your smuggled item, I think? I can't remember right now. I know this is set up differently, because I'm used to hitting here for my starting location, and then I think, yeah, here was the suit. So I think maybe they just changed these two, but this is actually better. It makes more sense. And because I'm like, I can't remember smuggled item was here, and I think the suit change was here. Smuggled item was here, yes. And then it was your starting location. That's what it was. So now they make it so that the suit is here, starting location's up here, and here's a smuggled item. Because you can then smuggle in... yeah, I think that's how it was. If I recall anything. But they made it so it's like, okay, here's like your gear stuff is like this, and so I don't know. Like I don't know. It's a little better because yeah, that's what it was. The weapon was there. That's it. This was the smuggle. This was the suit was here. The suit was here. Weapon was here. And then smuggle was here, and then it was starting location, and then your 2 equipment stuff. Or if you had your container, then it would add another thing. That's what it was. I'm like, I remember this being different. I'm like, because it's still pretty similar, but I'm like, wait, how is it? I'm like, yes, that's right. The weapon was here. Remember that now. Weapon was here, and then your gadget and your tool, whatever you brought was here. But yeah, but I think you were able to still bring in something else. But I remember it being different. Anyway, so I kind of like this. I like this. This isn't bad. That change. But again, it's like they could have fixed some stuff with the suits, but it's just the whole, I don't know. Yeah, having it online. But kind of like this, they're like, okay, here's Hitman Season 1, Hitman Season 2, Hitman Season 3, and then side missions. And then they're like, okay, here's this, the bonus missions, and then your special assignments. So it's like, okay, they're learning how to, organize some stuff better. So it's like, okay, all right. They learn from that, and they're like making things better. It's fun. Well, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about exactly, so I didn't really prepare myself to like remember. Wait, how are things before? It's fine. But I just figured I'd, just talk about that. But yeah, either way, the gameplay itself of Hitman Season 3, I do like it. It's fun because I just mess around. I probably will try to do some silent assassin stuff for suit only, that type of thing. But I don't know. I might do that or not. I don't know. We'll see. I'm more of just like goofing around with it, basically. After I've done the story and understand the story and the things it kind of wants me to do, I kind of just go, all right, I'm just gonna goof around now. Especially now that you have Season 1, 2, and 3 all together, I can just mess around with all of them. And so that's a cool thing about that. But yeah. So that's Hitman 3, aka Hitman Season 3, which I will now start to call it because that's what it should be called. But yeah. So I think I'll be done talking about that. Now, those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on that. I may talk about it again at some point. We'll see. Well, since it's just me and nobody else is here, which is fine, I'll just start talking about some random topics. So there is kind of one I talked about a little bit in the stream ahead of time. Come on. Okay. There's one I talked about in the stream, earlier. When I was playing Tomb Raider Legend. I was trying to put it on Twitter, but for some reason, because I guess Twitter can only handle like so many minutes of a video. This is uploading directly to Twitter, me cutting up myself of like talking about it so that it would fit the time, but it's just like it wasn't working. So I think I'll just kind of, just talk about this as quickly as I can enough, and then I'll expand on it later. But just like the Twitter version, or the one I'll share more. But so Gina Carano, who plays Cara Dune in The Mandalorian, has got fired. It's no longer, as far as we know, in the show or gonna be that character anymore. I think that's dumb. I think it's ridiculous. I think that she should not have been fired. I like the character of Cara Dune. I'd wish that the character would just keep going and continue with Gina Carano playing Cara Dune. Will that happen? I don't know, because there was the hashtag of cancel Disney Plus going around for a while, and so maybe Disney might smarten up and go, hey, or Lucasfilm, whatever, be like, hey, maybe we should keep her as a character, maybe here and there or whatever. But it was basically because she was, on social media, on Twitter, whatever, saying what she thought was good to say. You think maybe in some companies, especially like Disney, it's like maybe you shouldn't. be so much on social media because people will just attack you for no reason, which isn't good. It isn't right. It's not nice at all, and shouldn't happen. But it does, unfortunately. But you think it's possible that maybe you shouldn't be as much on social media because of just representing the company and all that fun stuff. But I think that the things that she had put on her social media, whatever, wasn't that bad really, and not fireable. She should not have been fired, especially the fact that she learned that she was fired as everyone else did, which is randomly on over the internet, when other news outlets, whatever, like, oh, Gina Carano was fired from The Mandalorian. She's like, oh, I am? No one told her. Disney didn't tell her, or Lucasfilm. But then again, it's possible that no one told anyone anything, and just like, we just want to let her go because we don't like her, or stuff that she has posted, or whatever stupid, silly thing. Either way, I think it's dumb that she got fired, and I think that I would like the character to keep going, but if it doesn't, at least we got the character in some way, and I just hope everything goes well for Gina Carano. I support her in what she does, whatever it is, and I think everyone else should do it too, because if you're a fan, just support her. Just support her, whatever it is, because it's just, this whole thing is silly. I think it's just silly, and just hopefully some people who didn't know about this at Disney or Lucasfilm are mad enough, and then they'll get her back. But who knows? Who knows what will happen? That's sort of my quick little take on it. But that's my shareable one. But the long form is just, what? Like, it took me aback. I was blown away. I was like, what? Because I seen some things that she posted. I'm like, okay, I kind of get, like, because I see some comments like, she's saying this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, that's not what the picture is. Because she would, like, retweet things or post things that other people have put up, but she would just be like, and sometimes she wouldn't even say a thing. She just, here's a picture, and then people just interpret things from the picture of their own things, and it's just like, but that's not what she's saying, though. That she didn't say anything. She just, she has some feelings about something, but we don't know what it is, so we shouldn't just be like, oh, this is what it is. It's like, you don't know. Sometimes, like, it's an interesting picture. It's artistically interesting to look at, and then just people just blow it out of proportion and be like, ah, and so of course that somehow got her fired. Like, but I think it's just because some people just don't like her and just looking for something to go, oh, well, this is the thing that people will agree is why she should be fired. And I've heard, like, because I've been reading up some stuff about what's going on, and I've heard that, like, even Jon Favreau is, like, very upset about what this whole thing. It's like, what? And that Gina Carano just told him and said, don't say anything. I don't want you to lose your job over this. Just whatever happens. Just this, whatever it is, just we'll have, let it take its course, basically. And I'm sure that having canceled Disney Plus, just be the trending hashtag on Twitter, and having what was it? It was their investors meeting that was happening that day or the day after, and that was during that time or something, and that was happening during that. And I think that some of them they missed the whole thing, but afterwards they saw that and you're like, okay, what is this? What is going on? And I think, like, the stocks just, like, dropped for a short time when that happened. It was just like, it's just a big mess, and it's like, well, like, it is silly that Twitter is now kind of like, oh, we, because a lot of these people, they don't this is all they do is just sit on Twitter. This is their interaction. And so if they're mad at anything, it's like, well, they'll just say it. And then people react in their own ways. And then, that just causes arguments or whatever, just overblowing out of proportion all this stuff, which is, which is also why I don't say that much anymore. I used to say a lot, like when I was on Facebook, I would have my status update and I would update with different things and certain feelings I had about some stuff. And I look back and I'm like, well, I shouldn't have even ranted or said things. I shouldn't have even said anything, because it's just like, it's kind of silly, I don't know. That I like, because then I could like incite something that I didn't mean to, because people don't know what what I'm thinking about or what I'm talking about, and it's just it's vague enough that they're like, oh, they think it's this when it's actually not, and it causes something. So I'm just like, I just kind of stopped. I'm just like, nope, I don't need to. I have this, but no, it's like I don't need to like say any of that stuff, and even if I really don't have anyone to talk to, it's just it's better to not talk about that or rant or whatever, because you don't know what it could cause. But I think a lot of things that Gina Carano posted were not something to get mad over at or whatever, but there's still just people that are just so sensitive that no matter what someone says, they're just like, my feelings are hurt, fire them. It's like, that's not how it should work. But I don't know. I kind of think that's my take on that, and it's just so bizarre, this whole thing. So I hope, I do hope the best for Gina Carano. Of course, the fan, Star Wars fan in me wishes that Cara Dune would come back, that character with Gina Carano being the character, and be somewhere in there, so we can show, oh, she's still doing stuff, she's still whatever. So I don't know, but that's me, of course. But I mean, if it doesn't happen, it's like, well, we have the episodes with her in it, and just it'd be nice if like people just talk about the character and be like, oh yeah, she's off fighting this thing, or she's now this, and whatever, and she's still having adventures and stuff, and But apparently there's a lot more shakeup now with the Mandalorian, of like the actors and stuff, of like, why is she fired? Like, what is going on? So who knows? But I don't know. I might just take this and have this as a separate thing too, as well on YouTube. Though I might unlist it and then later release it, because I still haven't had the other stuff I've done, edited, separately as each topic, as a separate video. But I don't know, I might just take this portion and then be able to share it that way or whatever, because it's just like, I don't know, it's just no, it's like, does no one have logic there? Like, I think, again, there's probably people there who do have logic with Disney and Lucasfilm, but it's just sometimes just like, why is this even allowed to happen? Like, it's, I don't know. Again, we don't know the full story, but it's just like, from how things are going, and from what is, sources being, told to other people, of like, here's what's happening. It's like, what? This is just like, not everyone knew what was going on, and it kind of just happens. Like, yeah, she's fired now. It's like two people are like, yeah, we don't like her, so let's fire her, even though it's not like vetted by anyone. It's just, I don't know. We're probably gonna figure out the full story of like all those shenanigans going on, but it's just, I don't know. Right now we don't have the full story, but it's just, either way, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. Stupid. It's like, what? Why? No. But anyways, just, I hope the best for Gina Carano. But I would like to see her as Cara Dune again. That's just me, But, so anyways. I kind of want to talk about that. But I thought more people would be here, because usually I'd have people here, but no one's here. So I think I'm going to end it. Last time, the first one, I think it was like 4 hours long because people came in. But since no one's here, I will end this early. Early as in like it's been an hour and 35 minutes, or 36 now soon, but that's okay. People see this later. But yeah, anyways. Yeah. So I think that's most of the stuff I want to talk about Hitman 3 though, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. If I end up talking about it again, probably I will, because they're adding more content, more things, and who knows, more bugs might happen. I did release a me doing an escalation of trying to unlock the deluxe suits from the deluxe escalations and deluxe content, whatever, from the deluxe escalations, and I uploaded that. And it's weird because I'm getting more views on Twitch than I am uploading it to YouTube. Because what I did is I took the clip of the phase 3, which with that escalation you can basically use for phase 1 and 2. It's like the same thing, except in phase 3 there's a timer. You have to kill a certain amount of people, specific weapons, and with specific things, but with a timer, it's like it makes it more challenging, more difficult. So it's like, okay, the way I did that escalation in phase 3, you can technically still do the same route. It's just you're not worried about time and specifically shooting them with the specific rifle. That's the only difference. But it's like, because one is already you have to poison the guy, you have to shoot him with a gun. Or I don't know if that's the thing, right? I think this, in phase 2 it added some extra more stuff. Then phase 3 is like, here's all this extra stuff plus a timer, and plus you have to shoot him with a specific gun. So it's like, okay, so with the timer going, I finally figured out a way. But again, it's something you could still theoretically use the same route for each phase, and it would still work. Just the last one has a timer. So. But anyways, it's weird because I uploaded the one I did, the phase 3, the escalation. I uploaded to Twitch, and then I got maybe just like I started to slowly get like, oh, there's this many views. I got like, because I also put my Discord as well. So I promoted that on Discord, but nowhere else. So I started to get, like one view, 2 views, 3 views. I'm like, okay, cool. 4, 5. I'm like, okay. It was 6. I'm like, all right. So then I uploaded to YouTube, and I promoted that on my Twitter, my gaming Twitter account. And it said I started to see like, oh, so many people are seeing this and blah, blah, blah. But then I look at let's check it now. But I look, and it's like, I have 1 view. I have 1 view. One person watched my that video of that escalation, my route. So let's refresh this. Think it's going to be the same thing. Yeah, 1 view. 1 view for but then on Twitch I'm getting like, I got 16 now. It's up to 16 views. So I don't know what was the deal with that, like what happened, but yeah, it's just, so it's weird that I'm getting more traction on Twitch for that than I am on YouTube, where I've seen other people do their Hitman stuff and upload it and they get like a lot more views, but getting 16 views on one and then getting only 1 view on the other, it's like, okay, well, doing something right with the Twitch one. So I might try to do some more escalations and put those up. I don't know if I'll put the whole thing or put all the phases or just put 1 phase, or I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so I think I'm pretty much done with this. I'm trying to slowly figure out how to end these. But now that I'm able to at least upload one Oh, can I upload another video? I actually upload another clip. I thought I could only upload one. I could technically upload another recording. Interesting. But I think I'll end it with the same intro clip just cause. But yeah, no, that's cool. Okay. Because it seems like with StreamYard, a lot of stuff's like, oh, if you want to upload an overlay, you have to upgrade. Or you want to upload a logo, you have to upgrade. But and I thought it was the same thing because the background's the same way. I thought uploading clips would be the same way, but nope. It just makes another slot, and I'm able to upload something else, and it's not like asking me to upgrade, so that's good. So I can technically do an intro and outro thing, which is nice. And I believe because I'm uploading the clips onto the actual site on the server of the StreamYard site, it actually will stay there each time that I go and use them, which is cool. But yeah, so I think I'll just do that. But yeah, so I think that'll just be it for that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, let's talk about mainly Hitman 3 since it's fresh on my mind and I've been playing it a lot and kind of streaming it a lot and stuff like that. So I might stream that again probably tomorrow. Don't know if I'll do that tonight. I might. I don't know. We'll see. But probably tomorrow I'll stream it. Most likely. We'll see, but I probably will. Because I'm trying to... Okay, so let me just double check their roadmap for... So February 23rd is when... where am I? Yeah. So 23rd, that will be... Yeah, they'll be next week. The first deluxe content of the escalations will be unlocked. So same thing with the other one. You have to play the escalation to unlock each of your deluxe items. But there's already escalations out. And then there'll be elusive targets, which I probably will do. But I haven't done too many contract stuff, which is stuff that other people made up. So I might end up doing that too. But yeah, anyways. So if my yapping here, I'm a little tired. I'm usually tired because I'm busy doing something, and I just never get enough sleep. That's okay. But right, anyways. But yeah, so I don't know. No one was here for this one, but who knows? Maybe the next one. Because usually I do these at night. I did the other ones at night, I think. No, I think I did one at night and one in the day. And night is when I got more. So I only do it in the day because like the lighting is slightly better. Because there's theoretically sun coming through here, but I think it's like, well, there was a snowstorm and I think there's going to be extra clouds sort of covering and the sun. So it's not so bright. Or it was bright, but now it's not as much. And I guess I could have had this guy on, but I don't know. I guess I could still do it at night. So I might end up doing that at some point. But yeah, either way, we'll see how many more of these I do. I kind of like these, where I just kind of have thoughts in my head about games and stuff, and some random other things that aren't related to games, but it's kind of at least have them out there. I've said them. And if some people find them interesting, well, hey, cool. If not, well, then, sorry. It's not much I can do. But, yeah. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for me for now. So thanks, everyone, for watching. And I hope to see you guys later. Bye-bye.
reports are important, and that there is a small, shall we say, backlog. I'm getting to it. How's the control?
Ugh, I thought this night would never end. What a snob fest. And I even missed out on the action.
I'm sorry you had to endure all that free champagne and cello music, Orson.
Yeah, well, I say stick to what you know.
which claimed the life of shipping U.S. Larson 14 ago, was indeed an industry.
Target down. Well done, 47. Now get off your property.
Hey, who are you? I'm not sure I know you. Ah! You fucking... Ah!